from applesauce and hand focusly so that everyone is around you. And now we will present to you Tall Tales from the Wild West.
Gather around, guys and gals. Pretend you're sitting by a campfire out in the desert at night. Rub your hands together by the warmth of the fire. Take a big whiff of the sagebrush and hickory root. Go on, take a whiff. Smell it?
You're in for a treat, because tonight you're going to hear a tall tale straight from the horse's mouth. So to speak, without further ado, just sit back, relax, and stretch your legs out. And don't believe a thing you hear. Put another log on the fire, Annie, and pour me another cup of coffee while you're at it. Better yet, I'll just shoot a hole in the coffee tin. There you go, partner. Now I got yourself a coffee tin with a spigot. Just put your coffee can right underneath it. Why, thank you, Annie. That's mighty hospitable of you. It sure is quiet. Listen to them critters out there. Ow! Sounds like a mountain lion, don't it? That's a coyote if I ever heard one. A mountain lion just purrs like pussycat. Now alligators, that's another story. I had a Tonka-riferous fight with a whole gang of gators back in Louisiana. Those scaly toads came creeping up on my roof one night while I was fast asleep. They thought they had old Sally Ann by the tail, but oh no. I whipped them, I flipped them, I kicked them right into tomorrow. It rained gators for 5 whole days after that. That sure sounds like a predicament you got yourself into, Sally Ann, but still ain't nothing compared to the tingles done come my way.
Sally Ann put her hands on her hips and spit into the fire.
You don't say. I do say. Why don't you tell us one of the fine tales and let us be the judge? Don't mind if I do. Take the time I wrestled with the rattlesnake, for example. That rattler came sneaking up on me just like those gators came sneaking up on you. I grabbed a hold of varmint and squeezed the poison right out of it. And I twisted the snake into a loop. Lickety split. I cut me a gila monster with it. And that's not all. I caught me an eagle too. A whole herd of the cattle. And that's how that way came to be, just so you know. Well, split my timber. That's almost as good as the time I chopped down all the trees in North Dakota. I had to pound down all the stumps with my bare fist so they wouldn't stick up. I was so tired when I walked away, I was dragging my axe. That axe carved out some mighty big rivers and valleys. Some people even say I carved out the Grand Canyon with my axe, but that's another story.
That's a good one as far as stories go, but have you ever carved through a mountain in a single day?
Can't say I ever had the inclination.
Well, I did. John Henry's the name. And train tracks are my claim to fame. I have laid tracks every which way you can see. One time I came upon a group of men who wanted to build a track to a hunk of mountain. There was a boulder in the way, as big as can be, smack dab. So they set a pile of dynamite under it and... When the smoke cleared, the boulder was still there. It didn't even make a dent. So I swung my hammer up high and brought down all my might. Ching! And brought down again. Ching! And again. Ching!
I think you get my drift. Anywho, before you could say that your entire nature, the boulder was gone. Mr. Bossman was hovering like a hornet in love. He said he got a new machine called a steam drill, and it could hammer faster and harder than 10 men. According to him, it never had to stop or rest. That's what I said. He was trying to get my goat, and I knew it. But I was chomping at the bit to teach that old windbag a lesson. So I made a bet that I could dig through the mountain faster than his darn steam drill. The next day, Mr. Bossman put me on one side and the steam engine on the other. This one's the middle is the winner, he said. I'll now let you have 3 guesses as to who won, and the first 2 guesses don't count.
That's a mighty fine story, John Henry. You all talk nice, bright nights indeed. I'm a woman of few words myself. With that, he picked up a rifle, aimed it at the sky, and shoot! She done. Great balls of fire. She done shot a hole in the moon. Got anything to top that? And he blew the smoke off the barrel of the rifle. Then she leaned against the cactus and said, and took her thorn out of the cactus and put it between her teeth and said, got anything to top that? Sally Ann looked at Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan looked at Pecos Bill. Pecos Bill looked at John Henry. Then they were out of people to look at, so they just turned around. And that's the end of this here tale.
It's still like this.